What's up guys, Saif Ashraf here, welcome back to another video. Today I've got the new iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pro, and today we're going to be comparing them and seeing whether you really need to spend extra for the Pro phone this year, or is the normal iPhone 16 more than enough. First up, let's talk about design. Now there are a couple differences in terms of size, colors, materials and stuff. So yeah, the iPhone 16, the normal iPhone 16 has got a change from last year compared to the 15s. Now the camera layout resembles kind of what we had with the 11 and the 12s. But it is a refreshed design nevertheless. Compared to the 13 and the 14 and the 15, it's something new. I've got the white color here as you guys can see, and yeah, I know a lot of people are saying the ultramarine color is the color of the year, but personally this white is really clean. It's made of aluminium on the sides, of course. We've seen these flat edges before with previous iPhones. So yeah, it's a pretty familiar iPhone to what we've seen before. Comparing it to the iPhone 16 Pro we've got in the desert titanium color, is the best color of this year. I know people are saying natural titanium is still good from last year, but I'm not gonna lie, I went for desert titanium this year. Of course, made of titanium compared to aluminium, so the iPhone 16 Pro is going to be stronger if dropped on a hard surface or anything. And also the iPhone 16 Pro is 0.2 inches bigger screen-wise. Like I said, we'll talk about the screen in a little bit. It's really not that much of a difference. But yeah, the iPhone 16 Pro is slightly bigger. Also at the back, obviously, we have extra cameras, and cameras again we'll talk about in a bit. But design-wise, both phones feel very similar, are basically the same size, like physically holding them. So yeah, it's really up to you. What do you guys think looks better? I'm gonna say the Pro looks better because of the titanium. It's got a little bit of a shine to it as well compared to the aluminium. But for those who don't like the triple camera setup, the iPhone 16 isn't a bad looking phone. Now going straight to the displays are actually a little bit different this year. Like I said, the iPhone 16 Pro has a 6.3 inch display versus the iPhone 16 have a 6.1 inch display. And most of this comes down just because the Pro series got a slim down of the bezels this year. And it does make a difference. The iPhone 16 Pro's display looks really nice this year. Of course, we still have the dynamic island at the front. And those 0.2 inches does make a difference when watching content. If you're holding it side by side, it does make a difference in day-to-day use. And also we have 120 Hz on this phone, and the iPhone 16 in 2024 still doesn't have 120 Hz. And yeah, I could make a whole 20-minute video ranting about like how this is just silly. But yeah, the iPhone 16s don't have ProMotion. I guess that's a feature they just want to really stick with the Pro line. And the iPhone 16 does have thicker bezels compared to the Pro as well. Like, it's definitely noticeable, you can tell. Both phones have dynamic island. Both phones have a peak brightness of 2000 nits, so they both look really good outdoors. And both phones can always go down to 1 nit as well. Everything except for the refresh rate and the slim down of the bezels. Otherwise, the display is the exact same. So if you don't really care about 120 Hz, the iPhone 16 isn't going to bug you at all. But if you do care about 120 Hz, I guess the iPhone 16 Pro is the only way. Let's talk about the cameras. Like I said before, we have a 2-camera setup on the iPhone 16 compared to a triple camera setup on the iPhone 16 Pro. Now the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pro basically have the same main 48 megapixel fusion camera, so you're basically going to be getting the same shots from both these phones. However, the ultra wide has been improved on the 16 Pro, going up to a 48 megapixel sensor, and the 16 still has a 12 megapixel sensor. So yeah, slightly higher image quality on the iPhone 16 Pros when it comes to ultra wide photos. And also we have a 5x telephoto lens on the iPhone 16 Pro compared to no telephoto lens on the iPhone 16. The iPhone 16's fusion camera does allow you to get 2x optical quality zoom from the main sensor. And yeah, sure, if you want to call it that, you can call it that. And I guess, yeah, it does have pretty high quality for a 2x crop. But the iPhone 16 Pro also has that 2x crop while also having a 5x sensor. 5x sensor is good if you know how to use it, if you really like taking portrait photos, or if zoom is important to you for some reason, then yeah, sure, the iPhone 16 Pro technically does have the better camera. The iPhone 16 Pro also gets some extras. You can record in ProRes, you can record in 4K 120, which is really good. And I love that feature. But again, I make YouTube videos, you can clearly tell. It is important for me because I actually use that feature. If you're not going to use 4K 120, like if you're not somebody who records YouTube videos or vlogs or cinematic video, it's not going to really be a use to you. And the iPhone 16 takes really good 4K video anyway. The iPhone 16 and the 16 Pro basically take the same video. It's just that this has some extra features for people that are going to take advantage of it. The iPhone 16 has a really solid set of cameras. For the everyday person, you're going to be blown away. But the iPhone 16 Pro has the same cameras with extra features that are good for people that do this type of stuff. Both phones also have a capture button. I didn't talk about this before. It links to the cameras. Not the most useful thing, but it's nice to see that both phones actually have the feature instead of limiting it to the Pros. The battery on the Pro phone is going to be slightly better by half an hour. Both phones have really good battery life. Obviously, it depends on how you use the phone, but in my testing, both phones basically have identical battery life. Technically, this does have the bigger battery, but because it has those extra things like a stronger CPU and an extra camera and bigger display, technically, it both basically equals out to the same. Both phones are supposed to get Apple Intelligence soon. We don't know when. They said October, but then in the EU, it's like, hey, no, Apple privacy, boo. So yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be getting it, but for those in the US, you're probably going to be getting it in October. And yeah, I can't really comment about Apple Intelligence yet. I haven't tried it. If you go on both these phones, I have the same old boring Siri, as you guys can see. This one actually doesn't have that. But yeah, the same old boring Siri. Both phones are stupid powerful though. The iPhone 16 Pro having a slightly stronger GPU and for like video stuff. But the iPhone 16 normal phone, you can do anything on this phone, it won't lag. It's simple as that. It's got the A18 processor versus the A18 Pro. And like in the name, the A18 processor, it's going to be perfect for most people. Anything you throw at this phone, iPhones have never been slow, and neither is this phone. The iPhone 16 Pro performs identically to the iPhone 16. It's just when you get into those little bit of extra things like editing videos or playing a game at max settings, then yeah, maybe you'll scream a little bit of extra frames from the 16 Pro. But again, the Pro in the name of the A18 Pro, it's because of those Pro features that you have with the camera and stuff. It just helps with that. But otherwise, the iPhone 16, you're not sacrificing any performance, trust me. So all in all, both these phones are actually really similar. So it just comes down to the price. They both start at 128 gigabytes, even though this is a Pro phone, kind of stupid. But yeah, they both start at 128 gigabytes, this being $799 versus $999. Extra £200, guys. I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna give you my verdict, all right? That's my verdict. You don't need to buy the Pro. If you know you're somebody who is going to be taking advantage of the Pro camera and the Pro motion, actually, let me not talk about Pro motion. If you know you're going to be somebody who's going to be taking advantage of the Pro camera, recording in ProRes, 4K 120, then the Pro phone is definitely going to be better for you. Also, if you like zooming into things or portrait mode, it's going to be the better phone. But if you don't really care about that stuff, you're a casual person who just occasionally takes the occasional Snapchat story or stuff, the iPhone 16 performs identically to the iPhone 16 Pro. If you're a pro, if you record YouTube videos, if you like recording videos in your free time, buy the Pro. It's got a really good cameras. But if you're the casual person and you would want to save an extra £200 instead of buying the Pro, the iPhone 16 is a brilliant phone, and I recommend this over the Pro for people who don't need the features. So yeah, that's been it. Thank you guys for watching. It's been Saif Ashraf. Make sure to like and subscribe because I actually do have a couple more videos coming out with these phones. I also have the 16 Pro Max, which I'm going to be talking about, comparing it to the Ultra. I'm stacked this year. So yeah, let's see. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm still waiting. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I be the son of the big boss. You know, got the rolling numbers. All your desire and all your thought. They wanna go, they meet favor.